I want to speak to you differently in this message, not from a place of spiritual theory, not from the comfortable distance of someone sharing wisdom they encountered in a book or developed through intellectual study, but from the place where genuine spiritual truth always lives, in the marrow of a life that has actually been through something, that has faced things that should not have been survivable, that has stood in the wreckage of seasons that were genuinely designed to end what you carry, and somehow, against the visible odds, is still standing. If you have struggled, genuinely struggled, not the glossy kind that makes for inspiring social media content, but the real kind, the kind that happens in private and costs things that cannot be recovered and leaves marks that do not simply fade with time, this message is for you. If you have looked at your own life and wondered, more than once and more honestly than you were comfortable with, how you are still here, how the things that came against you did not permanently succeed, how the seasons that were specifically designed to take you out somehow produced something that surprised even you, this message is for you. Because here is a truth that has never been more real to me than it is right now, in the writing of this. You have no idea what heaven has been fighting on your behalf. Not as a comforting abstraction, not as spiritual language deployed to make difficulty feel more manageable, but as genuine, operational, active reality. Battles waged in dimensions you cannot see, attacks intercepted before they ever reached you, darkness held at bay in ways you will never fully know, because if you knew the full scope of what was aimed at you, you would not have been able to carry the ordinary weight of your days. You think you have struggled, and you have. But what you have experienced, as real and as costly as it genuinely was, is only the fraction that got through, the overflow, the small percentage of what was sent against you that slipped past a defense that has been operating on your behalf since before you were born. The rest was handled by forces you cannot see, for reasons you are only beginning to understand. You are still here not because you are tough enough, not because you were lucky, not because the worst things in your life simply missed by chance. You are still here because heaven has been in the business of your survival since before you took your first breath, and it has never stopped. Before we continue, take a genuinely slow breath. Let this be a moment that is completely different from the ordinary pace of your day. If this arrived at a moment when something in you needed to hear, not as comfort but as truth, that you are not alone, that you have never been unprotected, that what you have survived was survived for reasons that are not yet fully visible, but that are completely real. Receive it now. Subscribe to this channel if you are walking a path of genuine spiritual depth and genuine faith. And if this found you at the exact moment your soul needed it, leave 1111 in the comments. Not as a ritual, as a genuine declaration that you know you are still here for a reason. Now let us walk through 9 truths about the battles heaven has been fighting for you, the ones you never knew existed, and the ones that explain everything about why you are still standing. 1. Most of what was sent against you never arrived. This is the truth that changes everything when you genuinely let it land. What you have experienced in your life, the difficulties, the attacks, the seasons of genuine darkness that pressed against you, as real and as costly as all of it was, is not the complete picture of what was directed at you. It is the fraction that got through, the small percentage that made it past a defense that has been operating in the unseen dimensions of your life, actively, continuously, with a vigilance and a commitment that does not take breaks, and does not sleep, and does not grow weary, since before you were conscious enough to know you needed protecting. The curses that were spoken, the energetic harm that was directed, the spiritual assignments from lower realms that were dispatched with genuine intention to produce specific damage in specific areas of your life. The accumulated weight of what generations of difficult choices in your lineage set in motion. All of it, in all of its forms, has been met. Before it reached your door, before it touched your field, before you ever had the chance to be genuinely harmed by the full force of what was aimed at you. What you experienced was the overflow, the 1% that slipped through the gap. And even that, even the fraction that got through, was permitted only in the measure that your growth and your development and the specific formation of the version of you that is being built could genuinely use. You were not lucky to survive what you survived. You were protected. Actively, specifically, continuously protected by forces that understood the value of what you carry, far better than the forces that were trying to diminish it. Let that land. And then let it change how you understand every difficult season you have ever moved through. 2. What you are here to do is too significant for heaven to allow your premature removal. There are purposes in this world that the ordinary laws of probability would not reliably preserve, that require something beyond the natural operation of chance to survive the specific opposition directed at them, that are too important, too genuinely necessary for what the world in this time and this generation genuinely needs, to be left to the mercy of whatever manages to get through an unguarded field. You carry one of those purposes. This is not flattery. This is not the spiritual community's version of making everyone feel special. It is the honest recognition of a pattern that runs through your life with enough consistency that, examined honestly, it demands an explanation that chance cannot provide. The situations that should have ended you but did not. The seasons that were specifically designed to permanently derail what you carry, but instead produced a version of you that was more determined, more grounded, more genuinely aligned with your purpose than the version that entered them. The narrow escapes, some visible, some that you only understood later when you saw where the path you did not take was leading. These are not the random distribution of fortunate outcomes across a statistically unremarkable life. They are the consistent pattern of a life that is being preserved, that has been invested in, protected, redirected when necessary, and held through its most critical moments by something that understands what the completion of your purpose is worth, and that has been unwilling to allow that completion to be prevented. Heaven does not fight for things it has no investment in. The consistency and the specificity of your protection is itself the evidence of how significant what you carry is considered to be by the forces fighting to preserve it. 3. The protection you walk in today is the harvest of prayers prayed by people who never met you. There is a dimension of your spiritual inheritance that most people never consider because it is entirely invisible. And yet it may be the most foundational thing beneath everything else that has sustained you. Your ancestors prayed. Not all of them, not always, not with the clarity or the spiritual development that you have had access to. But across your lineage, across the generations of people whose lives and whose blood and whose accumulated spiritual history combined to produce you, there were those who prayed, who called out to something beyond themselves in the moments of their deepest need, who asked for protection not only for themselves, but for what would come after them, whose genuine cry, offered in genuine faith, was received and recorded and has been operating, quietly, continuously, across the generations, as part of the covering that surrounds your life. The grandmother who prayed before she slept. The ancestor 3 generations back whose faith in something greater than her circumstances produced a prayer so genuine that it established a covering that has persisted through every generation since. The great-grandparent whose suffering, offered in genuine trust rather than resentment, created a spiritual legacy that you are living in the benefit of right now. You did not arrive at this moment starting from zero. You arrived carrying the accumulated spiritual investment of a lineage whose prayers are still active in your life. Battles that they could not win in their own generation are being resolved for you now. Ground that they fought for, spiritually, energetically, across dimensions they had no language for, is ground that your life has been built on. You are not only the product of your own spiritual journey, you are the harvest of an investment that began long before you. 4. The mercy of your protection includes being shielded from knowing its full scope. There is a reason you do not see the full picture of what has been aimed at your life. And it is not because you are considered too fragile or too spiritually undeveloped to handle the information. It is because genuine mercy, the kind that actually serves rather than simply protects feelings, understands that certain knowledge, received without the capacity to do anything constructive with it, would not protect you. It would disable you. If you saw every attack that was intercepted, every dark assignment that was dispatched and met before it reached you, every coordinated effort to derail what you carry that was dismantled in dimensions you cannot perceive, you would not feel grateful. You would feel hunted. You would live in the particular paranoia of someone who knows they are surrounded by opposition, but cannot see it, cannot engage it, cannot do anything to address it, and whose awareness of it therefore produces only a fear that limits rather than a faith that expands. Heaven keeps these battles hidden not as a condescension, but as a gift. The gift of genuine freedom. The freedom to wake up in the morning and choose who you want to be. To engage with your day from a place of genuine openness rather than defensive vigilance. To love, to create, to grow, to contribute, without the weight of full knowledge of what has been directed against your ability to do any of it. You have been given the gift of the innocence that genuine trust requires. The protection operates whether or not you are aware of its operation, and your awareness of it is calibrated to exactly what serves your genuine flourishing rather than what would overwhelm it. Be grateful for what you know, and be even more grateful for what you do not. 5. If you had to fight every battle yourself, you would have nothing left for the work you were sent to do. This is one of the most practically significant of the 9 truths, and it is one that directly addresses the particular exhaustion that chosen ones, souls carrying genuine spiritual assignments in a world that does not always make the carrying of them easy, often struggle with. You are not designed to be a full-time soldier in the spirit realm. That is not your role. That is not your assignment. That is not what your gifts, your purpose, your specific calling was designed for. You were sent here to heal, to create, to awaken, to carry light into specific spaces in specific ways that only you can carry it. To do the deep, costly, genuinely transformative inner work that makes genuine outer contribution possible. To be available, in your full creative, spiritual, relational capacity, for the specific people and the specific moments that your path was designed to bring you to. None of this is possible if your entire energy, every resource you have, every hour of every day, is consumed by the management of the external spiritual opposition that has been directed at your life. If you had to personally engage with every attack, personally defend against every assault, personally navigate every battle in every dimension that the full scope of opposition to your purpose has produced, you would have nothing left. Not for the inner work, not for the outer contribution, not for the ordinary human life that is also yours to live and to enjoy and to be present for. Heaven takes the external war so that you can give your full energy to the internal one, to the healing, to the growth, to the genuine becoming that is your actual assignment, and to the external contribution that genuine becoming eventually makes possible. You are not meant to fight every battle. You are meant to trust that the battles you cannot fight are being fought, and to direct everything you have toward the work that only you can do. 6. What reached you was genuinely a fraction of what was sent. On the hardest days, the days when what did get through felt like more than enough, like more than any reasonable expectation of what a single human soul should be required to carry, hold this truth as close as you can bring it. What you felt was the overflow, the small fraction that made it past a defense that, in the same moment you were experiencing its overflow, was successfully intercepting everything else. The nightmare that woke you was not the full assault. It was the shadow of what was blocked at the door. The sudden depression that descended without obvious cause was not the complete attack. It was the energetic residue of what was deflected before it could fully form. The series of misfortunes that accumulated until they felt like a pattern designed to dismantle you was not the complete agenda against your flourishing. It was the fragment that slipped through the gap. You experienced the 1%, and the 1% was genuinely difficult. The 1% left real marks and cost real things and produced real seasons of genuine darkness that you did not choose and would not have chosen. But the 99% was handled, in the unseen, by forces committed to your survival and your flourishing in ways that do not take the night off and do not reassess their commitment when the opposition intensifies. That is why you are still here. Not because the 1% was manageable, but because 99% never reached you. And the ones who made sure of that have never stopped. 7. Your gratitude for what you cannot see is one of the most powerful things you possess. This is not a platitude. This is a genuinely operational spiritual principle, one that those who understand the unseen dimensions of how spiritual protection works will recognize as one of the most significant and most consistently underutilized resources available to a chosen one. Genuine gratitude, not the performed acknowledgement of things that feel good, but the specific, conscious, genuine thankfulness for protection you cannot see, for battles fought on your behalf in dimensions you cannot access, for the faithfulness of forces whose commitment to your survival you have never been able to directly observe, carries a frequency that functions as active contribution to the protection itself. When you say, genuinely, from a place of actual awareness of what you are acknowledging, "Thank you for the battles I never saw," you are not simply expressing a feeling. You are sending something back into the field of the unseen, a quality of recognition and gratitude that strengthens the very forces it is directed toward. That adds something to the light on the side of what is fighting for you, that participates, however humbly, in the war being waged on your behalf. This is why the spiritual traditions that have taken the unseen war seriously have consistently included practices of acknowledgement and gratitude, not as passive emotional expressions, but as active spiritual contribution, as the specific thing that those fighting in the unseen can receive from those they are fighting for. You cannot fight the battles being fought in dimensions you cannot see, but you can fuel those who are fighting them. And genuine, specific, conscious gratitude, offered daily for the battles you never saw and the protection you could not directly observe, is one of the most significant ways of doing exactly that. Say thank you for the battles you will never know about, for the attacks that never reached you, for the faithfulness that never wavered even in the seasons when your own faith was thinner than you would have liked it to be. Say it every day, and mean it. 8. The battles in the unseen are connected to the prayers of everyone who has ever genuinely loved you. You have not been fighting alone in the visible world, and you have not been protected alone in the invisible one. Every person who has ever held you in genuine prayer, whose care for you moved them past the ordinary and into the specific, focused, spiritually invested act of bringing your name and your life before something greater than themselves, contributed something to the field of protection that surrounds you. Something that did not evaporate when the prayer ended. Something that persisted, was received, was added to the accumulated covering that heaven has built around your life through the faithfulness of those who have genuinely loved you. The parent whose fear for you became a prayer they did not know how to stop praying. The friend who held you in their heart through a season when they did not know how to help you in any other way. The stranger who witnessed something in you and was moved to offer what they could offer, a genuine moment of intercession for a soul they recognized as carrying something that deserved to continue. All of it contributed. None of it was lost. Every genuine prayer offered in genuine love for your survival, your flourishing, your genuine becoming, was received and added to a covering that is the combined investment of everyone who has ever genuinely cared whether you made it. You carry all of that with you, all of their prayers, all of their faith on your behalf, all of their contribution to the unseen war that has been fought around your life since its beginning. You were never as alone as the hardest seasons made you feel. 9. You are being kept for a moment that has not yet arrived, and heaven already knows what it is. This is the one that I want you to hold most carefully, most tenderly, most personally. There is something ahead of you that requires you to be there for it. A specific moment, a specific person, a specific contribution, a specific expression of everything you have survived and everything you have become through surviving it, that is waiting for the version of you that this whole journey has been building. You do not know what it is yet. The full picture is not yet visible. And that is not an accident either. Because if you could see it in its entirety right now, before the journey that prepares you for it is complete, it would overwhelm rather than inspire you. It would feel like too much before you are ready to receive it as exactly enough. But heaven knows what it is. Heaven has known since before you were born. And every battle fought on your behalf, every attack intercepted, every assault deflected, every moment of your survival that defied the visible odds has been in service of ensuring that you are present for it. That you arrive at that moment with everything you were always meant to bring to it. That the version of you produced by everything you have been through steps into that specific moment, fully formed and fully prepared for what it requires. You are being preserved. Not randomly, not as a general policy of divine protectiveness, but specifically, for something specific. For a moment that will make sense of everything that came before it in a way that nothing else could. You do not need to know what it is in order to be faithful to arriving at it. You only need to keep going. To trust that the protection that has sustained you through everything up to this point is the same protection that will sustain you through everything between now and then. Keep going. The moment is real, and you will be there. So how do you honor the unseen war that has been waged on your behalf? First, every morning before your day begins, offer this acknowledgement. Not as ritual, but as genuine, conscious, specific gratitude. Say it aloud if you can. Speak it into the morning before the morning fills with its demands. Thank you for the battles I never saw. I am alive because of them. I do not take this lightly. Second, stop measuring your protection by what got through. The fact that something reached you is not evidence that the protection failed. It is evidence that what reached you was permitted in exactly the measure that served your growth, and that everything else was handled before you ever had the chance to be touched by it. Third, in the moments of genuine difficulty, when what got through feels like more than you can carry, remind yourself of this truth. This is the overflow, the fraction. And if this fraction is this difficult, the fullness of what was intercepted on my behalf before it reached me was an act of love beyond what I can fully comprehend. Fourth, pray for your protectors. Acknowledge them. Thank them. Offer what you can offer to those fighting in dimensions you cannot enter. The specific, genuine, conscious gratitude that is the contribution of those being fought for to the war being waged on their behalf. Your challenge this week is to keep a small notebook by where you sleep. Each night before you rest, each night before you close your eyes and trust the unseen to keep watch through the hours you cannot, write one line. It does not need to be long. It does not need to be eloquent. Just this. Today, thank you for the battles I never knew. Do this for 7 nights, and notice what shifts in how you carry yourself through the days that follow. Notice what changes in your sense of your own safety. Notice what becomes possible when you genuinely understand, not as comfort but as truth, that you have never once been unguarded. You are not forgotten. You have never been unprotected. Heaven has been in the business of your survival since before you drew your first breath. Every close call, every narrow miss, every morning you woke up still breathing when something had been working through the night to ensure you would not. That was not luck. That was war, waged on your behalf, by forces that have never stopped, that are fighting right now, in the unseen, in the dimensions beyond what your eyes can access, for the version of you that is still becoming, for the moment that is still coming, for the purpose that is still unfolding. And you are still here, because they never gave up on you. Neither should you. This is the Messages of the Awakening channel. If this reached something deep in you tonight, something that needed to hear it more than you realized, share it with someone who is in the middle of their own fight. Subscribe for more content that speaks to the depth of what you are actually carrying. And leave 1111 in the comments if this found you at the exact moment your soul needed to remember that it was never alone. Thank you for being here.